Couldn't make this shit up. Today, I can't. How can you top this? Today, Trump is walking it back. He said, no, I'm sorry, it's not the.
Yeah,
There's also blue zones where people live to 100.
They don't look like those guys.
No, they look better.
Yeah, they're thin and active.
This is what he's basing his campaign on now. That in Springfield, Illinois, Springfield, always the name of the town where the invasions come, whether it's the body snatcher, now it's Haitian migrants, he says.
Trump supporters are calling for an HBO boycott over a Bill Maher joke. Yes, you heard that right. They want to cancel HBO because a comedian did his job. But wait, it gets better. Laura Loomer is demanding $150 million for hurt feelings. Who knew MAGA folks were such delicate snowflakes? Stick around as we unpack this comedy goldmine. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Imagine this, the master of late night zingers, Bill Maher, is roasting Trump on his show as usual. Jokes are flying out of his mouth, and the audience is loving it. Then, however, he throws a bomb that no one anticipated. Trump is so desperate, Maher laughs that he would wed Laura Loomer. Crickets first. No one blinks. It's Bill Maher after all. He constantly pushes buttons. The MAGA-sphere then blows up like a delayed fuse. It's as though Maher had disparaged their favorite Mountain Dew flavor or their favorite WWE wrestler. Trump's devoted supporters begin to lose their minds more quickly than you can say kofef.
These just look at the bereavement situation.
Does because they're running against each other.
Yeah, okay.
So it's kind of necessary.
It could when, if you want to talk about in terms of an election, but you talk about the terms of the guy who's in office right now. Like, why don't I like him?
Hadn't made their mind before the debate. She won 23-2, so that's pretty. I haven't seen a woman beat an opponent that bad since that Olympic boxer with these suspicious high levels of testosterone.
Yeah,
there's also blue zones where people live to 100.
They don't look like those guys.
No, they look better.
Yeah, they're thin and active.
What's the big deal then? Why did this specific joke cause such a stir? It turns out that combining Laura Loomer, marriage, and Trump is like putting a lit match into a barrel of gasoline, people. Laura Loomer isn't just any old name Maher picked out of the hat, you see. As contentious as a pineapple on pizza, but far less delicious, she is a far-right figure. Loomer is known for expressing conspiracy theories that would raise eyebrows even among those who wear tinfoil hats. More social media sites have banned her than a spam bot on steroids. However, to Trump's ardent fans, she is a champion for their cause, a virtual Joan of Arc defending the righteous cause against the malevolent liberal media conglomerate. Therefore, Maher's suggestion that Trump might be desperate enough to wed her wasn't merely a criticism of Trump's romantic life. It appeared as though he had used a stick to prod a hornet's nest, and then, just for good measure, plunged his head inside. The MAGA crowd viewed it as a slight to one of their most vocal supporters, as well as their adored leader. And they told Maher about it, boy. On the 4th of July, Twitter was like a Christmas tree. HBO boycotts were being called for by Trump fans more quickly than you could say cancel culture. It was similar to observing a swarm of irate bees, except that they were tweeting in all uppercase rather than buzzing. The worst part is that, in the end, it was just another joke in Maher's repertoire. Like yesterday's memes, he most likely assumed it would generate a laugh before fading away. Rather, it became a political powder bomb that infuriated the conservative Twitter community as a whole.
And I think it's clear.
As if the other guy isn't.
Well, okay, he speaks much clearer. He might be crazy, he might be a sociopath.
He is crazy. He's crazy and stupid.
Couldn't make this shit up. Today, I can't. How can you top this? Today, Trump is walking it back. He said, no, I'm sorry, it's not the.
Do I really think that he wants to help Russia and Putin? I think Putin had him as soon as he said Trump is a brilliant man and continues to lie. He still hasn't conceded the election, which he plainly lost. He's charged with actual crimes.
It appears like our favorite orange-tinted reality TV personality couldn't help but join the celebration, people. You guessed it. Donald Trump, who never shied away from a scandal, chose to comment on Bill Maher's small jab. Here's the worst part, though. Trump was unable to access Twitter, his preferred digital megaphone. Sadly, Donnie was barred from his preferred playground. What is the role of a sulky Trumpy? Here comes Trump's personal social media network, Truth Social. It is similar to Twitter, but it lacks fact-checking and has more MAGA caps. Before you could say, "Kafef," Trump jumped on his digital soapbox and began to spew his signature wit. In other words, I'm referring to Bill Maher as a low IQ individual. Did you ponder about that zinger all night long, Donald? Maher must be trembling in his comic boots. However, the problem with Truth Social is that it's like to shouting into thin air, or in an empty room with a megaphone, or attempting to form a line at a funeral. You saw the image. Trump's comments don't have the same impact as they once did because the platform has a far smaller user base than Twitter. Naturally, Trump's devoted fan base continued to spread his message more quickly than you could say fake news. They appeared to be standing by their phones, prepared to protect the honor of their beloved leader at any time. With their MAGA caps shaking in anticipation, they most likely muttered eagerly to one another. Did you hear what Trump said about Bill Maher?
Because I want to just, if you want to talk about Trump, we could talk about Trump. But if you just talk about Biden, I don't think comparing him to Trump does anybody any good.
This is what he's basing his campaign on now. That in Springfield, Illinois, Springfield, always the name of the town where the invasions come, whether it's the body snatcher, now it's Haitian migrants, he says.
I always said this in the beginning. It all comes back to he is a clinical case of malignant narcissism.
That's the end of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're on E.
I mean,
right? You might make it to town, but you might die on the side of the road.
However, Trump's response looked strange. He appeared extremely irritated, as if Maher's joke had offended him. Perhaps he was offended by the reference to marriage. After all, a soap opera narrative isn't as intricate as Trump's own marital history. Your head will spin quicker than a Mar-a-Lago turnstile if you have 3 marriages and several affairs. Perhaps it was the fact that Maher even ventured to make a joke about Trump. Neither his ability to laugh at himself nor his thick skin have ever been attributes of our former president. He's more inclined to laugh at a comedian's jokes than to sue them. It's as if he believes that a man who had an appearance in Home Alone 2 has no right to be the target of a joke. People, it appears that Bill Maher's small jab about Trump and Laura Loomer caused more than just a minor agitation. It triggered a full-blown MAGA outburst. Who would have thought that a simple joke could start such a commotion? The worst part, though, is that this entire incident demonstrates that comedians are still quite powerful in the political sphere. These humorous men and women are similar to contemporary court jesters in that they make us ponder while we're laughing uncontrollably. They're stirring things up and getting people talking about important topics, not simply cracking jokes. Do you recall Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart? In essence, those men were political celebrities with a sense of humor. The next time you're watching a late-night program, keep in mind that you might be learning more about politics than those snobbish newscasters. With a microphone and a strong sense of humor, who needs a political science degree? Apparently, the best medicine is laughing, especially for our insane political circus.